Hey folks, how's it going? This is Clarence, and this is the Road to the Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. This is my video series as you follow me as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army 1 hour a day, 1 day at a time. So the point of this video series is to inspire you to hopefully get painting. If I can paint 1 hour a day, hopefully you can find some time to grab some paint, some brushes, some minis, and work on your armies as well. Just a little bit every day, or a little bit when you can. Progress, not perfection, as they say. So we're getting pretty close to finishing our Brotherhood Archers. Today we'll be prepping them for the oil wash and applying that on. I'm going to change the process a little bit, but we will talk about that when we get there. So let's see where we're at. So this is where we're left off. The models have been completely base coated. I did all the little details last session, and today we are going to be putting on the oil wash. So the oil wash involves glossing the models first so that the oil can flow better. And as I'm waiting for things to dry, I'm going to be working on my palette cleanser, which is going to be Hot Pie. So I have to remember that I have to actually add Tom 7 strings to the GW spray stick. So yeah, as I'm glossing those guys over, I'll be working on Hot Pie. Hot Pie will be painted in the same scheme, greens, yellows, and browns. And yeah, so we'll come back. So as they're drying, I'll work on Hot Pie. You'll probably see Hot Pie next. 1 hour of work starts now. Let's go. Alrighty, quick little update on Hot Pie. This little guy took me about 25-ish minutes to paint. He was really quite simple, pretty straightforward, stuck to my typical green-yellow scheme. Straps, boots painted in snakebite leather, big oven stick thing done in wildwood. Hair, I did my typical blonde color, which is like a bleach bone with a Reichland flesh wash. And then the bread I did with Mornfang brown. It's going to get the mineral oil wash later on. So he was a nice little palette cleanser. He was actually quite fun to paint. He's also amazing in the game. And he's Hot Pie! How can you not love Hot Pie? So by now, the model should have been glossed and dried. And I'll be applying the oil wash. And I will show you the effect after they've been dried for an hour, because that's when the next step happens. So see you soon. And we are back after the oil wash has been applied. This has been about an hour of drying time. So what I'm going to be doing this time, instead of using a Q-tip with the mineral spirit to wipe it off the majority, is I'm going to use a makeup sponge to wipe it off instead, and hopefully you get more of a gradient. That's the theory anyway. Let's take a look. We'll do a comparison afterwards. See you soon. So this was the makeup sponge that I was using. I got it from Walmart, came in a 3-pack. I'm going to see if I can get a bunch more from Amazon, because I just want this particular one, because it comes down to a nice point. It's about the right size. So I wiped off the oil, and this is what it looks like now. So it's a lot cleaner, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised after an hour of drying time that the oil still came off pretty easily. So now I'm going to compare him to a model who has not had the oil removed and try to see the difference. It's kind of hard to tell from here. In fact, this model on the left, he's the one who has the oil still on. I feel like he just got less oil in general, because even looking at the back of his cloak, it looks kind of the same, to be honest with you. But I know that the sponging did remove a lot of paint. Let's take another spinaroonie. Here's the back. So the guy on the left had it sponged up, but the guy on the right just doesn't have a lot of oil in general. Anyway, it did make a difference, trust me. I'm going to do the rest, and we'll see you when they're all done. So we are done wiping off the oil wash, and I don't know if you can tell the difference, but for me, it looks a lot better, and I really like this new method of wiping it off an hour after the oil dries with the makeup sponge. I find that the Q-tip method, which I'm more used to, doesn't leave as much of a gradient as the makeup sponge did. So going forward, I think I'm going to be using the makeup sponge. So we are done the painting of the models, and the next session will be dedicated to the basing. All right, folks, thank you for watching. Hopefully this inspired you to paint, and we've got another battle report for you. See you soon. So now I have And we are back at X-Planet Games for another game against Jay and his terrifying Martel. So he is running his tried and true Oberyn list. Oberyn in Blackguard. We've got Harman Uller and Edric Dane in the Sand Skirmishers. We've got Skyreach Bowman with the Spearlord. And then we've got in outflank more Sand Skirmishers with the High Hermit Sentinel and Quentin, who gives them the outflank. We are playing a Game of Thrones. It was actually quite a big decision. Let's go my list first, I guess, before we talk about that. We've got my new list. So I decided to dump my Caitlyn list because I have never found a reason to use it. And I forgot that Caitlyn NCU is amazing. She's amazing against solo monsters, and she's amazing against things that do multiple actions, aka Sand Skirmishers. So she's on the team for that reason as an NCU. So my commander now is Thoros. He's in, this is a unit of Highgarden Pikemen. I'm proxying my Rose Knights. I do own the models, but I never thought I would use Pikemen, and here we are. We've got more Sword Knights with the Fortune Seeker. We've got Brothered Archers with Hot Pie, again, on my painting table. We've got Lysine Sellswords with Gendry, making them a bit tougher. And we've got Peasants with Edric Dane for some extra heals. So the table, we put down 2 Palisades, and I put down 1 Werewood, and I put down a non-terrain piece, the wall in the corner there. Again, the walls are really good for guys with a lot of shooting, aka his mass shooting, really. And yeah, I deployed kind of in this corner to kind of sweep over this left flank. Cards-wise, his side has the advantage of cards, but I really wanted to be on this side to break the Palisades. This one is the hand size, and that one is the healing card. So we'll see how this game plays out. Zoom out for deployment, and off we go to round 1. End of round 1. So Jay brought in the Sand Skirmishers in the back. Bit of an error, we missed the timing, but you know, he decided to bring it on back there, to be fair. And then the Blackguard have been pushing hard this way. Everything else is kind of hovering around the middle. I'm pushing down here as well. He's just a bit squishier here, so my plan is to, like, again, crush this side, hopefully. We're kind of ignoring these 2 objectives, so I'm shifting these archers around slightly so that if Jay goes after me with Oberyn, I'm totally cool. And if he doesn't, I can shoot him and maybe get this objective as well. Alright, that's the end of round 1. On to round 2. End of round 1. So what happened? The Blackguard are slowly coming around. I was really congested here, so they turned to face Oberyn. These guys are moving to the flank to get some flank shots and to maybe get to the objective. Over here is where all the main action happened. Through a combination of Peter and the Sword and their activation, the Skyreach Bowman shot 3 times, twice into here. They're only healthy because of resilience and some extra healing. Caitlyn plus Varys tokens dealt some damage to them. I went in for the kill, rolled a fiery charge, so I auto 6 charged them. Unfortunately, didn't kill them all, and then the healing card from the objective brought them back to 6. I was really hoping to open and kill them. Unlikely to happen now. Here's the board state, end of round 1. It is 2-1 for the Martels. Let's go. End of round 2, some action happened. I didn't think I was going to be able to kill those Skyreach archers, so the first thing I did is I healed up the cutthroats, and then eventually the archers were creeping around this way. By the time I took a sword to attack the bowman, he intercepted orders, which gave him a shot into Oberyn's flank, picked off 4 models. He then cunning ploy to face the archers. It gave Thoros, though, a flank charge, and honestly, with the +3 hits, it made a difference. Thoros' rules for Sundering and Vicious were also pretty cool.
Those are pikemen. Make sure
those are pikemen. Yeah, those are pikemen. Proxying as pikemen. Everything else, these guys charged in combat, bounced. They punched back, killed a whole bunch despite resilience because they failed the panic test. They spent their activation to cunning ploy Oberyn, and then they shot in flank and did some damage as well. So it's actually a 4-3 game for the Martels. He is on 2 points, but hopefully I can start catching up. All right, we'll see how that goes. So we're down to the very last activation. Oberyn of turn 4. Okay, so here's the situation. Jay is right now leading 5-3. I have a point. He's got the middle for sure. The question I have is, do I charge the peasants in? So I had already shifted Varys them up 3 to get a closer charge. It is a 3-up charge to make it in. If I make it in, it'll be 6-4, but I'll be in combat. If I don't and I hang back, it'll be 7-5.
7, right?
Because I'll hold my home
point.
point.
If you fail the charge, it's 7-4.
If I fail the charge, it's 7-4, which is a big gap. 3-up charge. No cards in hand. He's got no cards in hand. It's a tough one. I think for the funsies, we're gonna go with the the 3-up charge. So let's roll the 3-up charge. Here we go. 3-up, baby. Alright, so end of 4. The peasants made it in. They actually rolled 5 out of 6 hits and killed like 3 skirmishers. So the score is now 6-4. Here's the board state. It's looking pretty close. I'm going to lead. I'm going to try and kill those archers and swing around and kill the sand skirmishers and go from there. Let's go. 6-4, turn 5. So I'm going to just talk through what happened at the end of round 5. For some reason, the video didn't record properly. So I led the round, and I started off with, I believe, an activation on the Soren Knights. I think he played Sand Diplomacy on the swords. I put it on the horse. So I didn't want to get all the tokens. I didn't want him to have some sort of comeback mechanism. So I activated the Sword Knight straight up. I killed the Skyreach Bowman, which healed 2 wounds onto Thoros' unit, which brought him up to 7 wounds. Then at the start of the enemy turn, I then used the Deceitful Reposition from the Brotherhood Archers to move 3 forward, and that put them in range of the rear of the Sand Skirmishers fighting in the middle against Thoros. So he knew that if the rear shot, I was unweakened, plus the Vicious, plus the Precision, he was very likely to be crippled or die to the shot. He instead used his last Peter token to maneuver, retreat the unit out, and shoot Thoros. But because Thoros got a little bit healed, they didn't die. And then on my turn, I did a huge healing swing where I played Regroup and Reform, and I spent the token on But the Realm Remains to heal 7 wounds. I transferred 4 wounds from the peasants onto Thoros. He charged in with the pikemen and spent his faith token and completely killed the whole unit just with their attacks. Jay rolled terrible saves, and they all died. And with that, he was down to 3 more sand skirmishers fighting off against peasants, and we decided to call the game there. So it ended up being a win for the Brotherhood against a tough Martell army, and to be completely fair to Jay, he completely forgot about his past tokens the entire game, which would have made a huge difference, where being 1 activation behind is a big deal. So even though I technically won, I feel like if Jay just remembered his past tokens, it would have been a completely different game. So that was the game, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye-bye.